Right, I imagine I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I really do. I'm not meaning this to be in any negative way. I mean this to be helpful. For those of you that don't know me, if you're coming to me for the first time in the first Descendant, I've done a lot of mathematical DPS work in a game called The Division 2. I go through like basically all damage calculations in the Division 2. Very similar in terms of DPS calculations within the first Descendant. Like, this is like the work I've done. Spreadsheet galore. Like, I live on spreadsheets. I created a monstrosity for calculating DPS within the Division 2. I'm able to factor in 1,178 different damage numbers depending on buffs, multipliers, effects, team setups, etc., on one build. Okay, it's kind of become I would like to call it a living, but yeah, with these sub numbers, sadly not. Shout out me. I've started doing this in the first Descendant, at which point a lot of my followers have turned around and said, oh, someone's beat me to it, his name's Ryechew Gaming. And I found this video. Very good video. Very good. Very calm, very collected. Goes through it all. I sadly don't have a very sexy looking, I don't know what sort of board that is, but I don't have one. There's just one problem. And this is where I'm going to get hate. Because I'm pretty sure at one point he says like he teaches math, or he does like coding in games or whatever. But there's one problem. The formula's wrong. I am going to be tagging him in this, so this isn't going to be some sort of secret. Yeah, your formula's wrong, buddy. I've done this in a previous game. Hopefully here you can see it. I'll make it nice and big. But this is the correct formula for what it is they're doing. It's magazine times damage divided by, then parentheses, reload plus mag divided by rounds per second. Now, you might be thinking what you're doing is very similar, because it is similar, but what you're getting is a very, very different result, which I can now hopefully show you if you haven't clicked away yet. I'll try and keep this nice and short. So, what is actually happening in the first Descendant when it's calculating damage is, like I said, you're not far wrong, but what you're doing is wrong. I've used the exact same weapon that you have here. So I've got I've forgotten what the weapon's called, Nightmare Hound, 84 base damage, 180 RPM, mag size of 18, reload of 2.24. This gives me 183 DPS compared to, what were you getting? I'll just mute you, so lack of copyright. You're getting 189.49. So realistically already, my formula is already correct. Now this is the part where it actually gets weird as to what the first Descendant is doing. So, what the first Descendant is actively doing is... Right, so zoomed in. The first thing we need to do is work out rounds per second. This is where this game does this weirdly, okay? So, we have 180 divided by 60. You know this part, I know this part. Gives us 3 rounds per second. Okay, but now what we need to do is do 1 divided by 3. That gives us 0.3333 recurring, right? We know that part, obviously, hopefully. We're not arguing basic math at this point, but this is just to show where you've gone wrong. So we have a magazine size of 18. Let's just do, so we're going to do a magazine size of 18 times our base damage, which is 84. We're now going to divide this, and then parentheses, reload, which is 2.224, plus our magazine again, which is 18. And then this is going to be divided by our rounds per second. The problem is where we've done this. So what we actually want to do is subtract this from our 3. This is our firing interval. For some weird reason, the game is removing 1 firing interval during our sustained DPS, which leaves us with 2.66. We're now going to put that in. That gives us 167.8700. The next part you're completely correct on. The crit damage. So what we're going to do is now equals that times 1.01. The game is rounding up, but if we round that up, there's your 170. I don't know why the game is doing it this way. This is theoretically correct, but it's overly complex for what it's showing. Yeah, like I said, the issue isn't actually the game. The issue is your formula. Sorry, bud. Hopefully this helps you out with the work you're doing. I will be following suit. I've done what you're doing now. I've done for the Division 2. I've done it for Warframe previously. I've done it for Monster Hunter. So I will be following suit. But hopefully, like I said, I will be tagging you or Ryechew Gaming in this. Hopefully you see this and this helps you out. Always down to help out. But yeah, like I said, the issue isn't the game. The issue is your formula. It's wrong. Yeah, the formula you want to be using, I'll put it on, I'll type it out, but it's mag times damage reloaded by divided by, and then you want to do reload plus mag divided by rounds per second. That's the formula you want to be using. But for the rounds per second, so RPS minus 1 firing interval. Which, again, yeah, that's the formula they're using. Hopefully this helps you out. Have fun, good luck, don't die. It's bad for the health.